What's kicking, y'all? Quick Panic here, and I am back with another deck profile today. So today I'm going to do my Kaiju Zoo deck list that I used for a case tourney that I top forward in this past weekend. I had a couple people that are asking me for the list, so here it is. But before I get into that, I just wanted to say thank you so much to all of you that have been commenting and liking my posts and my videos and giving me feedback. I really, really appreciate it. I do a lot of this stuff because it's really fun for me and it's kind of stress relieving. It's something that I'm really comfortable doing, and the fact that you guys are getting something out of it and you appreciate it and you're asking for more actually makes me incredibly happy. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for the support, and I hope that everything here gets a little bit bigger and better. But working with what I have right now, there are a little bit of lighting improvements that I'm going to do here in the future. So enough of that. Let's get into the Kaiju Zoo deck profile that I'm going to do here. So I'm going to start with hand traps. Hand traps are a big thing right now. We just got a new one, but we're going to go with old, good, faithful here, Max C. So Max C is a little bit of a dead card against the new True Draco deck, but it's excellent against Zoo, and a lot of people are still going to be playing Zoo because, as you're about to see, it's still a very, very solid deck. They can still draw 5 cards and end on Zodiac Dryden, Zodiac Hammer Kong, and Daiguster Emerald, which you can see in one of my previous combo videos that are also on the channel. But Max C is still excellent against special summoning decks and against the Zoo Mirror match. So we're definitely keeping this, even though it's not that great against True Draco since they don't special summon. Then our next hand trap is Ghost Reaper, Ghost Ogre. I'm so sorry. I don't know where I got that. I combined like cherries in this, but anyway, so Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit is like on and off for me. Sometimes it's excellent, but I feel like this format, it has enough versatility that I can justify main decking this, and I want to run as many hand traps that I can, because you'll see that this deck doesn't have as many traps as it might have last format. But this will stop Dragonic Diagram, it'll stop Zodiac Barrage, it'll interrupt a Zoo combo, it'll stop Scales from happening on Metal Foe cards when they're trying to pop other ones to search. So it's really versatile. It's also a 1-for-1 if you're just trying to pop a monster that maybe you can't get over, because Zodiac is notorious for not being able to attack over things. So this card definitely is going to be in my main deck if I run this at YCS. Where am I going? Pittsburgh. Yes, that's this week. So we're running 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring because this card is nuts. Like, it's so good. It's a zombie. First off, that already has me enticed, but it has 3 effects. Well, it has 1 effect, and it can stop 3 different things from happening. So it can either stop your opponent from adding a card from their deck to the hand, that includes drawing, and it can stop them from special summoning from the deck, but it can also stop them from sending cards from the deck to the graveyard. And that's especially important because last format we just saw 60-card decks go out of control. Thanks, Billy Break. But we saw the 60-card decks doing really well because of That Grass Looks Greener. And I know they didn't totally rely on it, but it's a blowout card when they resolve it. So you can actually ditch this from your hand, and you can stop That Grass Looks Greener. You can also stop Max C. So if you're playing Zoo and you get Max Seed, it's not the end of the world anymore, because you can run 3 of these babies. I know they're kind of expensive, but I think it'll be a staple for a while. It's been a staple over in the OCG, so it'll probably remain a staple over here for a little bit at least. Zodiac cards, we're running 2 Zodiac Rapier because it's not a 3 anymore, but Zodiac Rapier, when it's normal summon, can still do a pretty small but beneficial combo. But starting with this and a instant fusion is actually incredible because it nets you 5 draws and then 3 monsters on the field, including 2 Zodiac XYZs. Now we're playing Zodiac Ram, and last format people were kind of coming around to the idea of playing him, but I think he's really good right now. He gives your XYZ a 2000 butt, which is pretty big, nice and fat, but he also, as a monster, anytime he's destroyed by battle or card effect, he can special summon from your graveyard another Zodiac monster. But when he's an XYZ material, not only is he giving them the stats, but he also gives them the effect that anytime a trap card or trap effect targets the monster this is a material for, the Zodiac monster it's a material for, you can detach it to negate and destroy it. And that's important for the new True Draco trap cards, continuous ones. We're running 1 Thoroughblade, and I honestly don't want to run more than that because he often I don't get his normal summon / special summon effect, but I'm running Zodiac combos, so I wanted to keep him in. He also gives 1600 attack points, which is really good, obviously, considering Whiptail's the next strongest at 1200, and RAAM's got a paltry 400. But he also gives piercing damage, and like I said, he lets you net a draw. So if you draw a Zodiac combo, you can special summon him off of Barrage or whatever, and you can use his effect and pitch the card, draw, and then now you have Zodiac combo in the graveyard. But he's in here. He has to be in here, I think. Now we got 3 Zodiac Whiptail. Whiptail is insane. Like, I find more and more that she's doing the majority of the damage in this deck, because if you have an XYZ Zodiac and they're already equipped with a material that's giving them attack points, you can attack with your Whiptail that's already on the field, like a normal summoned one or a special summoned one, and then when you declare an attack with the XYZ that's already on the field, you can equip this after this is already attacked, and it's essentially like you're getting a 2 attacks in with this. And it's just really versatile. I don't know. I can't say enough about Whiptail. Whiptail is excellent. It helps you get rid of any sort of weird rogue decks or anti-meta picks, just because it banishes and it doesn't target and it doesn't destroy. So it's excellent as a monster here. Definitely have to run 3 of that if you're running Zodiac. We're running the Speedroid engine still, because Totem Bird and MX Saber Invoker are awesome. But you got to include this guy, because what else are you going to draw turn 1? Definitely not a Terratop. You're definitely drawing Takaton board before anything else. But I included these guys because it's still an insane way to start. Then we're running the 1 Lunalight Black Sheep. You're going to see that I'm running 2 Fusion Substitutes and only 1 Black Sheep, and that's because in the 5-card combo, you're actually returning this to the deck and then searching it with the second Broad Bull that you make. So you only need the 1 to search out the 2 Fusion Subs. Now we're running Kaijus, because this is a Zodiac Kaiju deck list, right? So you'll notice that I'm running 4 different Kaijus with 4 different attack levels, and that's because I know a lot of people are running like 2 of the 3300s, but if I'm activating Interrupted Kaiju Slumber at some point late in the game, I want to make sure that I'm not crashing and leaving myself without a monster. If I activate Kaiju Slumber, I'm going to give myself the stronger one, obviously, and my opponent the weaker one, and I want to make sure that I still have a monster on the field at the end of that. So I know it kind of stinks if you draw the 3300 and then the strongest thing you summon is like a 3000 Dogoran, but it really, the benefit of being able to run over whatever Zodiac or whatever Kaiju you give them just outweighs any sort of cost of missing out on 300 attack points to me. So that's why I run those 4. Now we're going into the spells. Of course, we have Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. It's a Dark Hole that gives you a beat stick. If you draw it with the Zodiac combo, not the card Zodiac combo, but the combo of cards that you create with just Rapier, you can OTK. So this card is excellent. You can also banish it from your graveyard to search for a Kaiju later, and then maybe tribute off your opponent's masterpiece. That sounds pretty good. We're running 2 Instant Fusion because Norden is an excellent card. I don't think there's anything else you can say about it other than normal summoning Rapier plus this card makes that a 5-card combo. So definitely need to run that. I'm running the 2 Fusion Substitutes. That's how you draw the 5 cards. Like, a lot of these cards are in here because it helps you with the draw 5 combo, because that's pretty broken. We're running 3 Fire Formation Tenki because I want to get to Rapier as soon as I can, and it also helps me get Whiptails late game, obviously. We're not running a whole lot of Zodiac monsters, but this helps with that, obviously, and it helps me start with Rapier, which I really, really like to do. Then we're running 3 Zodiac Barrage. Just remember, with this card, you can pop your RAAM special summon with the effect of Zodiac Barrage, and then also special summon the monster off of RAAM's effect if you have one in the graveyard. People also forget to use this as an XYZ material for the XYZs. There's Zodiac XYZs that are on the field already, so don't forget that, guys. It's a free material. It's free! Now we got... this card is kind of new to the metagame, I think. So we're seeing this in side decks already, but Cosmic Cyclone is fantastic this format. Now, what it does against the True Draco matchup is it gets rid of their tribute fodder, which is pretty good already, and you're thinking, why can't I just use Twin Twisters? Well, that's because when their spells and traps, continuous ones, are destroyed by card effects, or sent to the graveyard in general, they get to pop a card. Like the cards weren't already broken enough, they also had to pop something. So we want to make sure those babies never touch the graveyard, and we're going to use Cosmic Cyclone to do that. It also helps against the Metal Foe matchup, and I know that deck seems less exciting, but it's still good. Like, there's no reason not to run that deck. You can still definitely run that. Balbaboon combos with that deck are insane. So Cosmic Cyclone, definitely something that I think should be main decked. I was running 2 for a while, but I always wanted a 3rd one. I just had to have that card in my deck, because when I activate it, I just felt like I was in so much control. But we got Zodiac combo. Now, I wasn't running this at first, but I found myself running out of resources really quickly. And I know this isn't like a new surprise card, but some people aren't running it. And I think that I've played enough games to justify including this in the main deck again. Even though a lot of the times Rapture is not sending that to the graveyard, and I'll just pitch it with Thoroughblade or something. Now we're running a breakthrough skill. This, I know this is not 2000 and what was that, 14 when this card was good, 2015, but breakthrough skill is an excellent pick this format, I think. And I'm only running the one of. I'm not saying you have to run 3 in your deck or anything like that, but it helps against Masterpiece if they haven't tributed off a trap for it. It lets you negate it during... It lets you get 2 negations, but if you get this off on a Masterpiece that hasn't had a trap card tributed for it, you can affect it with spells and monster effects, which are going to be outs that you're already main decking if you're main decking Zoos and Kaijus. So, breakthrough skill, excellent. Don't forget, when it's in your graveyard, it's a quick effect to banish it from the graveyard to get its effect again during your turn. So, you get 2 uses out of that card. Solemn Warning, I think, is an excellent card this format. Now, last format we saw triple Solemn Strike being almost staple in the majority of decks, but Solemn Warning is good here because the True Draco monsters aren't being special summoned. They are all being tribute summoned, and Solemn Warning stops a normal summon while our friend Solemn Strike does not. So Solemn Warning is definitely something that I'm putting in all of my deck lists right now. It also stops Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, and I think this is going to be a solid deck pick. So be sure to include this in your deck. I don't think there's any reason that you should exclude it. And then the last 2 cards I have here to make a 42 card deck, for the record, I couldn't cut it down to 40, is 2 Solemn Strikes. Now, I know I just talked about how it's not as good against True Draco, but it still stops hand traps, and it still is really good against the Zoo matchup, which you're still going to see, even though True Draco is probably going to be more popular. So, Solemn Strike, still an excellent card. No reason not to include that. And now we'll get on to the extra deck. I probably don't need to explain most of it, but we have Elder Entity Norden, because you can special summon that with Instant Fusion, and the Fusion Substitute combo revolves around him. MX Saber Invoker, just for the Speedroid Terratop engine. Totem Bird, if you have another way to get into the Zodiac combo, but you still have Terratop, you can go ahead and make Totem Bird, who gets you a free negate on a spell or trap. And since there's so many really important spells and traps this format, I think Totem Bird is definitely justified. I'm definitely not taking him out. Then we have 2 Daigusto Emerald, because you need him for the Draw 5 combo, and he's just a really good recycling card in general. Like I said, I was having issues recycling cards in the deck, and that's why I included the combo, so the more recycling I can do, the better. We have 1 Gagaga Samurai. Now, I really didn't want to run this card, but if you have Interrupted Kaiju Slumber and you have a Zodiac play, a lot of the times you can make it into an OTK, and if I can get a free win like that, I'm going to take it. So there's really no reason not to run this for me. If I wasn't running the Kaijus, I would definitely not include it, and I would try to fit something else like a second Tiger Mortar in. You'll see that I'm only running 1, and I'm really sad about it. I'm running Tornado Dragon. Now, this card makes my Paleo matchup a lot better. A lot of people are probably thinking that it's not going to be a very popular deck, but I'm going to a YCS, and the new pack kind of just came out. People will have had like 2 weeks to get all the cards they want, but a lot of them are still just insanely expensive, and a lot of people can't afford them. So Paleo, I think, is still going to be a thing, and even if Paleo wasn't a thing, I think I would still probably main deck this in the extra deck, just because it has a quick effect that lets you pop spells and traps, and you get at least 2. Well, you're going to get 2 off, most likely, at least 1 with his effect. Now, when you're playing against Paleo, his effect is actually hindering them twofold. So if they activate a trap, and they want to activate a trap in the graveyard to special summon with one of their Paleo effects, you can just chain his effect to pop another spell or trap card, and then they can no longer chain the other trap card, which is really important. So I think he's justified, for sure. We're running 1 Zodiac Hammer Kong, and if you see the Draw 5 combo, I like to end on him with a RAAM for material, but he's usually just a stepping stone like bourbeau was last format. I like to hold on to my bourbeau, this guy, because if my opponent is really low, and we're paying for lots of cards. We're paying for Instant Fusion, we're paying for Cosmic Cyclone, we're paying for Solemn Strike, we're paying for Solemn Warning. There's so many cards that we're paying life points for that I found myself in a lot of situations where I want to keep Zodiac Bourbeau in the extra deck, because a lot of my matches at the case tournament came down to normal summon Thoroughblade or normal summon Whiptail, overlay for Bourbeau, and attack directly because they only had a couple hundred life points left. So he is no longer a stepping stone. Don't treat him like that anymore, guys. He is important. our friend Hammer Kong is now a stepping stone. Poor guy. Zodiac Tiger Mortar. This card is so incredibly good in the pure build, and we're basically running a pure build. The Kaiju engine is only 6 cards, so Tiger Mortar, I really want to fit another one in, but I just can't justify it. I'm doing some playtesting this week, and maybe I'll find that I don't use Gagaga Samurai as much as I'd like, but for now it's staying at 1. That's why I have the Zodiac combo in there, and that's why we're running 2 Emeralds, so we can recycle that baby. Zodiac Chakanine with her beautiful art. I love her. I'm so sorry that they changed her name from Laika. Laika was such a cool name, but I understand why they did it. They had to make the name uniform. They're naming her after a weapon and the animal she's based off of, so it makes sense. But Chakanine is awesome. Not only does she help Zodiac Rat Pure turn into a 1-card board, but she also has some utility outside of that. And a lot of people are saying you only run 1 because she's not good outside of that. That's not true at all. You can bring back a RAAM, you can bring back a Whiptail, you can bring back a Thoroughblade. All these monsters you can bring back, and their effects are only negated till the end phase. So you can go into your opponent's phase and turn, rather, not phase, and you can have your Whiptail on the field, and then just equip it to your XYZ whenever they do something that you'd like to activate that effect on. So it's a really good card. It puts extra damage on the board, so you can also detach material and just bring back like an extra 1,600 points of damage with Thoroughblade, and then poke your opponent. And I mean, that's a sizable chunk of damage. So Chakanine, I love this card. I love her a lot. She's awesome. We're running 2 Zodiac Broad Bowl because you need 2 of them for the draw 5 combo, obviously. And then searching is always a good thing. Just remember that you can also overlay for this guy and Chakanine using 2 level 4s. So you don't actually have to use their once per turn overlay effect. And then our last buddy, Zodiac Dryden, provides destruction, provides disruption. It's an excellent card and has beautiful art. Why not play it? So that's all I've got for the extra deck and the main deck. I'm not really going to go over an extra deck. I'm probably just going to give you guys an idea. Now, that's because I'm probably going to change about 5 cards. There are 5 cards in the side deck that I have right now that aren't 100% certain for me. So I'm going to be doing playtesting this week, of course, to figure that out using my side deck. But what I want to do with the side deck, and I found out that I really liked this at the case tourney, was I like to make my side deck so that it's a separate engine for my deck. And I'm not saying engine like set of cards that all fit together in an archetype. I mean like a different way to run the deck. So I'm going to side out my Kaiju cards when I'm going first because they don't do anything for me on turn 1. And I'm going to side in a bunch of traps. And these traps are going to be something that's going to blow up my opponent. I have Imperial Order. I have Anti-Spell Fragrance. I have stuff like Massacre Restrict in there for True Dracos. So when I'm going first turn, there's a high probability that I'm going to start off with a Zodiac combo. Now my opponent could maybe stop it with a hand trap, but if they don't, and I get my Zodiac combo off and I draw all these cards, I want to have some traps that I draw with this and defend the board that I make. So I think I'm going to go ahead and go with that mode of the deck and put in traps, including stuff like Dimensional Barrier, which I don't think is main deckable successfully, at least anymore, just because True Draco doesn't care about it. True King Dinosaur can get around it really easily. They don't have to play with it because everything else is a beat stick in the deck. So that's all I got for today on this video, but I wanted to see if I could get some inspiration, some deck ideas from you guys. If you have any combos or any strategies or any deck lists you'd like me to go over, I'd love to do that for you guys. Like I said, this is something that I do for myself, and I really enjoy doing it. I love seeing that you guys are enjoying the content, so keep the comments coming, keep the likes coming. I love you guys, that's why I said it. But subscribe if you want to see these new videos come out. I'm going to do a couple more deck profiles. In my last video, I talked about maybe doing some history of Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profiles, and I have some friends that are interested to do it with me, so that's pretty exciting. I want to probably record some matches while I'm at YCS Pittsburgh, not of the actual tournament, just because that's really distracting and not everybody enjoys that, but maybe just like off to the side. So I'm going to try and do that while I'm in Pittsburgh. I'm going to try and get one more video in for you guys. I don't know what I'm going to do yet before I leave, but I'll take pictures. I'll be updating my social media, letting you guys know how my record is coming. But hope you guys have an awesome day. Later.